So the majority of Europe has been having a pretty decent start to the summer in terms of temperatures being mostly near normal to even below normal, especially across Northern Europe and Western Europe. But we do have a pretty localized but intense heat wave over the next few days for far southeastern portions of Europe. We're talking Greece, Turkey, portions of Bulgaria, Romania, in that area there. So today is June 10th, and that's what I'll be talking about today. So, looking at the 500 millibar height anomalies from the European model, that's what we're starting off with. Areas in blue and purple are troughs, and areas in orange and red are ridges of high pressure. Now, starting off today on June 10th, notice how we have a lot of blues and purples across Northern Europe. That's because we have a pretty deep trough situated across Northern Europe that's been bringing a lot of the cooler weather there over the past weeks. That we haven't really had a lot of heat in this area across Northern Europe yet so far this summer because there's been constant troughing like this. But notice, okay, across southeastern Europe, we do have a bit of a ridge going on, and that's what's causing the heat wave of the next few days for that area down there. And then as we go over the next few days, notice how that we still have a lot of troughiness going on across the north, but this area of intense ridging continues across portions of southeastern Europe, especially across Greece and Turkey throughout the remainder of this week before we get a low pressure system that moves through and brings an end to that heat wave this weekend. But notice how we just have constant troughing across northwestern Europe, across the British Isles and Ireland. That's why that area there especially has been very cool so far this summer. Just endless cold fronts coming through. And then by the time we get into next week, especially around the June 20th time, that's as far as this model cycle goes. But the model is hinting that we could get a renewed heat wave across portions of southeastern Europe, maybe getting as far north as portions of Romania, Czechia, Hungary, in that area there. It's still pretty far out, but something to keep an eye on as we get into the end of next week, especially beyond June 20th. Next, I want to go straight to the max temperature forecast over the next few days to show you what kind of temperatures we'll be talking about for portions of southeastern Europe during this heat wave. So this is for tomorrow, June 11th. Notice how this area here across Greece, Turkey, portions of Bulgaria and Romania, a lot of temperatures over 35, between 35 and 40 degrees Celsius max temperatures. That's between 95 and 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of the lowland areas of western Turkey could get over 40 degrees Celsius, especially as we get into midweek. This is for Wednesday. Notice how portions of western Turkey are approaching for about 43 degrees Celsius, or getting close to around 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Very localized. These will be in the lowland areas of western Turkey, but a lot of areas getting over 40 degrees Celsius. Across western Turkey, portions of Greece, the Athens, Greece area, maybe Thessaloniki and Larissa approaching 40 degrees Celsius there in Greece. Also southern portions of Bulgaria here, approaching 40 degrees Celsius also. So it's a very localized area of extreme heat over the next few days, potentially sending record high temperatures. I know some areas of western Turkey with temperatures that approach 43 degrees Celsius. Those could probably break some monthly record highs for June. But outside of that heat wave in the southeast, notice how the majority of Europe is very cool for this time of year. Barely even touching 20 degrees Celsius across much of the north. Extremely cool temperatures with all those troughs moving through and cold front. It's keeping the heat confined to the far southeastern portion of the continent. And as we get into Thursday, notice how we still have temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius across western Turkey and across portions of Greece. Athens area still over 40 degrees Celsius possible, maybe even a little over that, approaching about 41 degrees Celsius maybe. Across the Athens area, about 105, 106 degrees Fahrenheit, and much of the lowlands of Greece approaching 40 degrees Celsius. And as we get into Friday, as that low pressure system starts to move in, portions of Greece start to cool off a little bit, only getting as high as 37 degrees Celsius, or still about 98 degrees Fahrenheit. But western Turkey is still in the heat, getting between 40 and 43 degrees Celsius there. And then by the time we get into Saturday, that's when that cold front moves through, so the whole area starts to cool off. And then as we get into next week, the early part of next week, a lot of areas still nothing too bad, no heat waves. As we get beyond into the early part of next week, much of the continent is still very comfortable, only getting around 25 degrees Celsius or about 77 degrees Fahrenheit. For much of Central Europe, Eastern Europe, no sign of extreme heat past this weekend into early next week. Until we get around the June 20th time, like I said, when we have that new region that starts to develop, we could get a renewed heat wave across Eastern Europe, lowland areas right around here of Serbia, Hungary, Romania, maybe Bulgaria again, and obviously the areas of Greece and Turkey once again. It could be a little bit further to the north and west than the one we're having right now, showing temperatures that could possibly approach and exceed 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit as far north as Poland, and even portions of southern half of Italy, maybe getting over 35 degrees Celsius or 35 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees Fahrenheit in the lowlands there of southern Italy and Sicily. Otherwise, beyond that, we'll have to wait for over the next few days. We'll see how intense this new heat wave could be beyond June 20th. Something to keep an eye on for that. And then I also want to show you rainfall totals across the next 10 days. Because with all these multiple cold fronts moving through, especially across Central Europe, we could be talking about a lot of heavy rain across portions of the Alps of northern Italy, Austria, Switzerland, eastern France, possibly getting rainfall totals over 100 millimeters or close to 5 inches of rainfall over the next 10 days. And this area has been getting a lot of rain over the past few weeks, and we have been getting flooding across portions of the Alps, and it looks like that should continue over the next 10 days with this endless cycle of rain, with this type of weather pattern that's going on in Europe. So another thing to keep an eye on outside of that heat wave in the southeast is the flooding that could be happening across portions of the Alps in Central Europe. That being said, that's all I have for today. I hope everyone stays safe out there if you live in the area of the heat wave or in the area of flooding potential. And I hope you have a good one, guys. See you next time.